bring this closer to me. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I don't even know if anybody's on. Uh, so I'll give it a minute or two because I didn't really. Come on. My I my my bills are paid and whatnot, but my internet sometimes I don't know if it's the company or my system or what. Like in between 12 and like 3 or 4 o'clock, it's like they're trying to reboot or update their system, so it's causing I don't know how many people, but it's causing my household anyhow to get knocked off. And I have to go out there and reboot everything. Hello, Lori or Lauren. No, yeah, it's Lori. I'm sorry. Anime or Amy. I have been having issues lately with um, saying the right words. Um, Mostly because I have been tired, sore. I want to say drugged, but I mean like with medicines for my allergies, my back pain. A lot of my different medications cause either drowsiness or dizziness or stuff like that. So I'm like, there are times where I'm just like, huh? Um, Almost look like I'm stoned and staring off in space. But I live with it. You know, I get up every day and I deal with it. Have been really bad here in Missouri. I don't know about any other state or location, but I had gotten hit last week with like major coughing, sneezing, postnasal drip, sore throat, um, and I went to the doctor and um, I had the doctor basically test me for like anything. I had tested for strep, for flu, for COVID, clean. I didn't have anything contagious. So when I found that out, I called my job and said, "Sorry, I took a couple days off because I thought had the flu." Doctor said I'm healthy. It's just really bad allergies. So I did. What was it Saturday? I did a double. I went in for my normal 10 to 2, and I had gotten called back by managers saying, "Would you be willing to come in 5 to 9 to help cover a shift?" And I said, "Sure." You know, I not only did I want the hours, but I wanted the money. I mean, it helps my life. And then Sunday I did my night. They had me 5 to 9. So I'm like, cool. You know, I'm not getting a lot of hours because I asked for part time, um, so I can be here at home. But that wasn't the main reason. The main reason was because of my back. Thankfully, on October 17th, I go in for what they call an ablation, which is basically they use radio waves to scar the nerves in my lower lumbar. That should take away my pain. Um, they said it could last anywhere from 6 months to a year, depending on how quickly my body finds a way to reconnect the nerves to my lower body. So I'm like, okay. So I asked for the day off because I don't know how long the doctor wanted me to rest afterwards, but I figured 24 hours should be good enough. Um, we'll see. And I love my job. I'm gonna tell you why I love my job. Not only because of the factor it's something I'm experienced in, but the managers need people and they understand my my home life. You know, taking care of Jerry, trying to take care of myself. You know, things like that, and They understand that I have a standing medical form that basically says cannot pick up more than 25 pounds, I think it is. I have to go look at it, but I think it's 25 pounds. And thankfully, the only thing that's really heavy at my job is one particular food product. And since I don't deal with food, I don't have to deal with that particular weight situation. But I do a lot. Wednesday, clean the lobby. I sweep the, basically do everything I need to do to clean, sweep, and restock the lobby area. I also help out with doing dishes when we're slow. Um, but um, I forgot if it was yesterday or the day before my secondary shift that they actually sent me home an hour early due to labor. Not enough things to do for labor wise. And so I understand that. And I'm the low man on the totem pole, so I understand that I will probably be the first one to be sent home early if they have a labor issue. Um, I mean, I've been doing this kind of work for 30 years, give or take. So I understand the food industry. I understand market industry. Working in delis, things like that. So I understand when you've got too much. If your labor count is too high, you have to send somebody home early, just so it doesn't cause issues in future scheduling. But the manager that hired me and the assistant manager, which I've worked with a lot during the daytime, says that I am more valuable and more reliable than most of the kids that are there. And I'm like, well, one, I understand the need for a job and whatnot, and two, I don't really have a weekend life. I mean, my life revolves around my home and my family, and the needs of my family and my home. And that's why anytime they call me going, is there any chance we can get you to come in for a couple of hours to cover for somebody? Sure. Let me just get a hold of my ride so she can get me up there. I should be up there in like 15 minutes max, um, or minimum, I should say, because calling them, having them come pick me up, get dressed, and skedaddling. Um, but things here, other than health, have been actually really good. I mean, between my allergies bugging me, my back screaming in pain every day, and then Jerry and her situation, and I, you know, I'll be honest with you, I worry because things have gotten bad, and she's having to be on chemo again, and I I worry sometimes when she decides to take a break because I don't know what's going on in her body. She took a break from doing chemo and things got worse. And, you know, I try not to dwell on it um, because it is going to be what it is. It's God's decision on how he's going to deal with it and what he's doing and things like that. I just, um, I just hope she has, a good, you know, 10 plus more years of life. But like I said, that depends on, the medicine and God, and mostly God. So it's one of those like, just take it one day at a time. Try to do our best to live our lives to the best of our abilities, and you know that's what we're doing. I just, parts of me wants to move out of state closer to um, Duke University or some city that has a university or a hospital system that specializes in cancer. That way they can give her not only the best quantity of life, but the best quality of life, which I can't do by myself. And that's one of the reasons why I'm like, maybe she should be in some sort of, 24-hour care unit or care system, um, to make her life a little bit more comfortable while she deals with the chemo and the cancer. Um, but there's a lot of other things involved, um, that I don't understand or fully know about, because I'm I'm just trying to do my best to hang in there. I do as much as I can for her when I can, how I can. Um, and I know that because of my health and whatnot, I need to take care of myself as much as I can, which makes it a little bit more difficult for both of us, because there are days like today, I woke up and I don't feel like doing anything. I'm thankful that today's a day off. I am thankful that there's not a lot of things that really need to be done that's important. Um, I gotta try to get something, get ready to eat something, because even though she's currently not hungry, um, she can't go without eating, even if it's just a protein shake or something like that. That, I mean, I can take a vanilla protein shake, or take, plain yogurt and some of the frozen blueberries and a protein powder and throw it in a blender and turn it into a smoothie. Um, Things like that. I never know, and so I'm just kind of like constantly trying to, take care of her. Now I see that I've got 39 people and only two people have spoken or said anything, which, I mean, it doesn't bug me, but the thing is, I have too many people out there who want to watch my videos or Jerry Ann's videos and go running to their gallery of hens, or whatever you want to call them, and create false information or stories or whatnot, which, go right ahead. Flattery, which is basically got a form of gossiping and whatnot, that's a form of flattery. And, you know, that's fine. You want to flatter me with your gossip? That's fine, Danny. Just make sure you get the right information, you know. But, you know, I kind of figured my usual crowd wouldn't be here because it's a Monday. It's also like almost 6 o'clock my Central Standard Time, which means it's about 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and a lot of people might go to bed at that time on the East Coast. Mountain Time is like 5, and then Western, um, is about 4 o'clock. So I can understand why there's not a lot of people on, because they're either getting ready for bed, sitting down to dinner, prepping dinner, or just coming home from work. Um, which, if I was working today, I probably would have been home by about 5:30, depending on how long they wanted me to stay. Hello, Marguerite. Glad to see you. I know it's 4 o'clock your time, or no, 3 o'clock your time. Almost 4 o'clock your time. I don't know. It's hard for me to remember all the different time zones. You know, I remember growing up as a kid, and it didn't matter what time zone you lived in because you used military standard time, and trying to remember that and whatnot, it was one thing, but trying to remember the differences, because it's like when I lived in Arizona, when I lived in Arizona, they did not use daylight savings time. So they were always, you know, the same time frame. They never dropped back an hour or went up an hour. Um, I think there's a couple other locations or countries that don't use daylight savings either, because there's a location on the northern end of Norway where they have constant daylight. It never gets really dark. So, you know, and they're like really close to the Arctic Circle or within the Arctic Circle. So, you know, yeah, we did not do a Sunday vlog. We both woke up in a not really a bad mood, but we were just both kind of like couldn't wrap our brains around it. Both feeling miserable because of allergens or whatever is bugging Jerry. It's probably allergies also bugging Jerry. But it was one of those days where it's like, okay, I have to go in at 5 to work, and it's 12 noon, and I got 4 hours, to get stuff organized and ready, and food prep and all that stuff, and we just totally forgot about a live session. So I decided to do my live today because I don't know what it's going to be like this coming Sunday. I have not gotten basically Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday would be the last day of this work week. And I'm hoping by later on to this evening or early tomorrow, they have the next week worth of hours or 2 weeks worth of hours up on the website. And that way I can access that information and write out my schedule to find out what it is. Um, because I like to have that information in ahead of schedule so I can work around that and see if I have to either Thursday I need off because of Jerry's medical appointment. I have to stay home and watch the dog. So if they give me hours Thursday, I might have to ask to exchange hours with somebody else. I don't want to ask them to just take me off the schedule because I forgot to put the information in for the day off. So it's kind of like, we'll see. Thanks, Marguerite. I mean, I like this job. They're very flexible with my schedule. They understand my situation, so they're willing to work with me. I have not asked for a day off. I have never asked for a day off yet because, you know, they worked with me, so I didn't have to ask for a day off. Um, the the workforce, not the workforce, the workload um, is fairly easy for me. It's like old hat. Just have to just have. I had to, still having to refamiliarize myself with their point of sale system, or POS as we call it, as well as the new items on the menu. They haven't put me on the line yet to build the food items or the order. So I'm kind of like, bring me in on a day that you guys know is slow, so you can start and on hands training of the menu build or order build, or what do you want to call it. Well, I'm hoping right now, Marguerite. The only problem I've had is I'm wearing my back brace because of my back issues. The other day, I almost dug through my ace bandages one night trying to find my sciatic cuff because my sciatica was hurting like crazy Saturday, especially since I did a double. And I can't wait until October 15th when I am supposed to get my lower back nerves ablaze, so I won't have as much pain. um, in my lower back where I have the deteriorated lower lumbar discs. It's like the first four up from the tailbone are basically almost gone. And I could go in for an operation which will like inflate something or work on something or do something to help separate the bones so they're not grinding together. But it's a high risk operation because if they damage the spinal cord, I could be paralyzed from the waist down. So that's a last ditch, hopefully never do situation. So I am going through that process. I you know I'm hoping it lasts longer than they said because they said depending on how fast my body can reconnect the nerves from lower to upper or upper to lower. Depends on how long this ablation will last. They're saying minimum 6 months, maximum a year. So I'm, you know, yes, I have all kinds of lower back issues, sciatic nerve issues, um, lumbar disc issues. Um, I also have. It's kind of funny because like my lower lumbar discs are deteriorating. My upper lumbar and the back of my neck are bulging or inflating or something. What I can't remember what they said it was. But yeah, I've got spinal issues, um, which out of all the things that I could have issues with due to family oriented genetics, I never thought anything about spinal or back issues. I was waiting. I had been waiting as a kid to have a doctor go, "Oh yeah, you're now diabetic." Well, it runs in the family. Okay. You have high blood pressure. Yeah, that runs in the family too. You have heart issues. Yeah, that runs in the family too. I don't have heart issues yet, thank God. Um, but like I've got the high blood pressure. I've got the diabetic issues. I've got the anxiety issues. We've got a lot of genetic issues that unfortunately they have not found ways to cure that stuff. Which maybe it's not just the genetics; it's environmental. Because I mean, 100, maybe 200 years ago, maybe longer, diabetes was not something they knew about or had issues with because people were healthier. They didn't eat or drink as much crap, you know, as we do nowadays. In fact, they're saying nowadays that anywhere from 75 to 95% of most diets have a large amount of artificial elements or chemicals in their food. And I'm like, yeah, the boxed foods have preservatives, sodas have preservatives, and sugar and sucrose and all kinds of really bad stuff here for somebody who has diabetes. Um, we've become a now I'm speaking for America. I don't know about the rest of the world, but most Americans have become fast food junkies or easy to make quick meals. Pull it out of the freezer and pop it in the microwave, things like that. Yet those, like the Amish people like that who eat all natural and whatnot, have very little problems with their diets because they eat healthy. They grow what they eat. They don't use artificial chemicals or anything like that in their crops or their livestock or anything like that. In fact, they make old school remedies that have all natural products. There's no artificial stuff in it. So I'm like, I wish, I wish when I was younger, that I could have been smart enough to not eat so much garbage. Between candy and the soda and the cakes and stuff filled with sucrose and other forms of sugar, I'd probably be in a better, healthier situation than I am now. But, uh, see, I'm sure your doctor explores. Yeah, he basically my pain management group started out with steroid injections into the nerve clusters in my lower back, but they didn't that stuff didn't. I mean, those injections didn't last me more than a week or two. So they upgraded me to something else, which worked for, again, only a couple months, not a couple months, a couple days to a week or two. Um, so I'm hoping this ablation will work longer than anything else they've done, because I don't want to be one of those people where every other month I have to go in and get another ablation. And it's like, well, since I'm already, 50 some odd years old, don't know how much longer I have to live. God only knows that, because, He's the master plan of that stuff. That if you're going to paralyze me, I might as well do it now so I can, I don't want to not work. I mean, I could, if I had a wheelchair and could get around, who knows what kind of job I can get. But yeah, that's what we're doing right now, Margaret. We're trying everything we can short of doing an all out surgery. But I would rather have these injections and whatnot every month or whatever, um, than going into a high risk surgery, um, where they might have to go ahead and tie me down and paralyze me because I cough while they're trying to do something near my spinal cord that causes injury. You know that, and they wanted in New York when they first found out that I was having problems with my lower lumbar. They wanted to go straight in for surgery. They didn't want to go around, trying to do, steroid injections. They wanted to just go straight for the surgery. And they wanted me to sign a waiver saying that I can't sue the doctor if they mess up. In other words, paralyze me. And I was like, no, 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 no. No, you're going to be doing, an invasive, dangerous surgery with high risks around my spine. You mess it up, I don't. No, I'm not saying signing no waiver. You're basically malpractice suit waiting to happen. Um, so that's why in New York I didn't go for the surgery straight up. There's something else we can do. Oh yeah, we can do physical therapy for what, causing me more pain or to strengthen your lower back. Buddy, if you knew what I do on a daily basis, you would understand that my lower back or my core is already, pretty well there. It wasn't literally. I mean, no blame to Jerry Ann or her family, but before I got married and started eating pasta nearly every day, I was skinny. You know, my core was pretty good. I didn't have a six pack or even a four pack, but I didn't have a beer belly. Um, so it's just I am doing what I can. I mean, I understand that exercise for most point can be painful because you're stretching muscles you haven't stretched in who knows how long. I've actually looked. Unfortunately, most of the places that I've looked online, you would have to pay a fee for their instruction guide or their daily videos or whatever it is for like low impact exercises like Tai Chi, um, or water aerobics at the center. So it, I'm just doing what I can. I'm doing what not only will my body allow me to do, but what the doctor says to do, because The doctor doesn't want me to hurt myself, but at the same time, he wants me to try to, strengthen my core. And, you know, so I am trying to do, what I can. Um, the one good thing about wearing the back brace that I have at work is it prevents me from bending over. And bending over is what aggravates, I guess, the nerves and the bone and muscle and whatnot in my lower back. So it is what it is. Oreo is actually doing really good lately. She has some anxiety issues when I'm not here, um, because she was only a couple months old when I stopped working the first time, and now she's like 3 years old, and it's like, where are you going without me for hours on end? You know. So, and last time I talked to my mom, she was doing pretty good. Um, we were gonna do our indoor tag sale, but because of the hours I had to work on Saturday, even though mom was willing to come over and do the whole thing by herself, we decided to say no, 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 because trying to take care of Jerry and the dog and the yard sale without me would be too much, and I did not want to put that on her. So as soon as I get my hours for this week, I'm hoping that I'm hoping things will be better, and we can have the yard sale this weekend. So I'm hoping. Yeah, but sorry, folks, I'm trying to do two things at once. Nope, they haven't gotten up the new schedule yet. And if they don't have the new schedule up by tonight, I'll just pop in and see what they have for scheduling. But I am I'm actually going to get off this here in a second um, to do dinner and get some things done around the house. Now that I'm feeling a little bit better compared to this morning, so I am going to go ahead and sign off. I don't know if I'll be able to do any vlogs or anything else later this week. I got to try to balance my schedule and whatnot. I am pretty sure you guys understand and appreciate that. So, until next time, I will bid you guys a good evening and a good day. Have fun, enjoy. Bye. Wrong machine.